Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing good today. Hi, Ramona. Um, I saw that we are getting close to the whole Halloween and stuff thing, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to upload any tutorial this past week because I got my thyroid meds changed, so I'm still adjusting. Hi, J9. Um, but I mean, I've been able to do some stuff around the house and around the garden and all that. Um, why I thought about these cats things is because, let me put it this way. Last year, it was more, there was a, you know how we sometimes have waves of fashion that everybody likes them. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Adelaide. Hi, Arlena. That last year were more or less the hanging cats. Then there's the cats that kind of come out of your ear. Hi, Colleen. And it just started with the stretching cats. Now, we did have some stretching cats back in, I'm not sure if it was 2017 or 2018. If you give me a minute, I can look, because I know we did some cats. Let me see. I know we did some kitties. We did yeah, we did the black cats for Halloween. Let me get you the link if you don't know about it, and if you haven't watched. That was from 2018. And I think that I definitely did another cats thing. I know for a fact, but I just cannot find it right now. I think it was in this. Give me just a second to check, so I can give you actually the link. So they were some ghost earrings, and I'm giving you the link that will start right away. Okay, I know that I have a new subscriber that writes in Thai, but I have to tell you, I have to go through Google Translate to see what you're writing and to answer, and I cannot do that on live chat. Let me say hello to everybody else. Hi, Antonia. Hi, Silver. Hi, Petro. Hi, Gayleen. Hi, Tina. Hi, Karen. Hi, Judith. Hi, Sandra. Karen. And I don't know what your name is. Nice person from Thailand. Okay, so I gave you the link with the ghosts. Let me see. And I think that this was with kitty cats. No, there was some cauldron ones. Some cauldron earrings. Now this will be approximately, not exactly the very beginning, but you'll figure it out. Or maybe I showed it at the end of another one. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Anyway, so what we are going to do today, and I might stretch it into the next Sunday, because I want to give you enough time to make stuff for Halloween, especially if you're selling. But what I wanted to do with you today would be, number one, first we're gonna do some elements, okay? And I'm not going to focus only on Halloween cats, that means on black cats, but on how you can do some cat earrings even with other colors. One thing is, and I don't think I have it here. I'm going to look on Amazon and see if they came up yet, because I know I had some in Amazon. Unfortunately, they went away. I mean, you know how my problem with Amazon, that's why I'm spending anywhere between 2 and 4 hours a week on my influencer store, because items get discontinued, or not only that, but sometimes they would use the same item code but post something else, you know. But if you remember, a while back, I think like 2 years or something, I did let me actually I did a tutorial on how to use the Artico, that's an ARTYCO molds, and that's a company, if I'm not mistaken, Trish told me that it was from the UK, I think. I guess we can do a search and find out. But this is the tutorial. Hi Francis, I know where you are. And it was about how to make some fridge magnets and even pendants, if you want, using the Artico molds. Now the thing is that you can easily use the Artico molds, and this is the link directly on actually let me just switch to display. And remember, I'm always asking you to please use my affiliate link when you shop on PolyClay, because that helps me. I don't earn money, I earn store credit, and that allows me not only to purchase my materials but also to do those giveaways that everybody likes, and also sometimes to help some artists who are going through a bad financial time. And I don't announce it, but the ones of you who have been helped know it very, very well. Okay, so any of these cat molds and even dog molds can be used to make, let's just give it a quick view, can be used to make earrings just by simply, you take the mold and then you simply kind of cut out only the head, because they are a little too big for earrings. You can make pendants, you can make brooches, but I know that she still has some of them. She was talking about getting more, but I'm going to look and add in my influencer store whatever cat molds I can find. And you can use those too, as I said. Let's get back to our thing. Now, to get into how to make cat things, my problem is that right now I do not have, I know I used to have post earrings, and by post earrings I'm told I might have put them somewhere else, but they are not in my earring finding box. But for the regular cat head and the cat that comes out of your ear, you will need post earrings. And what I mean by post earrings, you can find them. See, this one, for example, is different. As I said, I'm completely out of them. I used to have some because I know I got them when I got these clip-ons, and the lever ones. The lever ones are very good for people who have problems with losing their earrings. I never had any problems, but I know that there's a lot of people who have problems. And I know that at the time I got these, I also got post ones that had just this and then the little pin. But I'm completely out of, completely out of them. But you will need post earrings for these two types of cat earrings. And see, kind of like this one. And you can also buy for the post if you're not very happy with them, because most of them, oops, excuse me, most of them, they come with this, not this one comes with the regular one, but most of them, they come with this flimsy silicone stop, and they are not that terrific. And what I wanted to tell you is that you can get metal stops, and you can get them larger, and you can get them smaller. And as you can see, I do still have, because I got more earrings than stops. I need to get some more post earrings. But as I was saying, you need this kind, not this large, but the ones that just have a little tray, tiny tray here, and then the pin, and the tray looks like this. You'll find them in if you go on my Amazon influencer store, and if you look on jewelry findings, you'll find some there. Oh, actually, I still do have some, but they have very tiny. There you go. Here's one. But as you can see, they have very tiny trays. I need to get some with, I don't have any left with larger trays. The other thing that you need to be very, very careful about is whenever you use this type of earring wire finding, you will have, after you bake your kitty or whatever else you want to put on this kind of stuff, you will have to kind of remove it from that little tray and glue it, because it will come off. It's not remember, whenever you put a wire in polymer clay, especially because all polymer clays shrink a little bit when they bake. Some brands shrink more, some brands barely shrink. You cannot really figure it out with the naked eye. You kind of need one of those micrometers. But they do shrink. So if you put in polymer clay a wire that is straight, you know, just completely straight like this, after you bake the polymer clay, it will come off. And there's 2 ways to fix it. I mean, even a little screw might come off. So there's 2 ways of overcoming this problem. One of them is to use glue, and the other one is to actually make a little loop at the end of the wire that you put in, and then you build your polymer clay around, and that way it will not come off. But on little trays like this, you do need to glue it, because otherwise it will come off. The same as if you bake something on a mug, and remember we did mugs before. If your polymer clay, whatever you placed on the mug, does not go all the way around the mug and in between the handle of the mug, it will slide off. So you will have to, after you bake it, you'll have to gently pry it off and then glue it. Karen, I really don't know. I think that where you might find this information might be the Blue Bottle. Ginger does such extensive reviews and so much testing that I am sure that she did she does have that somewhere. I can look for it. Just remind me on Facebook to look for it, because you know I forget. Hi Gilda. Hi Skywalker. Hi Gail. So number one, the easiest way to do, and I forgot to get me a small cutter, just a second. The way to make sure that your earrings are identical, because if you want to make them identical, is to have your clay on the same thickness, and depending on how large you want to make them, the idea is that you have to use the same cutter in order to measure, and it doesn't matter the shape of the cutter. You can go for small ones and use these I got from PolyClay, and they are absolutely fabulous. And you can use for smaller bead-like things, or you can use any other smallish cutter. Like, I know I have somewhere, but I'm working on finishing some stuff, and as usual there's all kinds of things on my table. Any of the smaller ones in a cutter set, or even the Kemper cutters, depending on, and it doesn't matter the shape of your cutter. All it matters is that you use the same cutter. So as you can see, I am using a heart one, a heart Kemper, and I'm going to use a heart Kemper in a second for something else. Hi Darla. So I'm going to first use it in order to do two little kitty heads. And when I do cutting like this, I prefer the Kemper, because even when it's about small stuff and it gets stuck in the cutter, I can easily push it out. So all I'm going to do is to make them into beads. Very careful. You must not have folding lines, so look very, very carefully. If you think I need to put in more light, let me know. But I was going to do more or less several colors, so I kind of left the light in between. Okay, so I'm going to get these two, and then I'm going to show you how to do like a striped kitty. So I'm going to use the exact same thing, the exact same cutter, and it's also on clay on the thickest setting, and I'm using white. Okay, hold on, this one didn't come off. And the same thing. Alright, so again, I'm going to beat them perfectly round with no folding lines. Only that, what I'm going to do to them, and you can grab even a piece of what do you call it, mud clay, but your best bet is to go with something that I have here. Okay, use some sienna clay. This would be your best bet. So what I'm going to do is to make little strings, very tiny strings, and As always, I'm going to use my acrylic block. To make my strings as thin as I can. So hold to the end and then don't press too much. Just gently roll it, pulling away. Okay, now I have some strings. Let me grab my eyes. And I'm going to put some little lines on my kitties. So I want to go pretty much, not all the way, but close. Kind of like this. And I'm going to put one starting a little bit farther. Oops, I dropped it. Oh, come on. The back doesn't really bother you. You shouldn't be bothered by the back. Just pretty much the front. And then if you want to place some on the forehead of the kitty, you can do so. 2 or 3, and if you have problems doing the strings the way I showed you, of course you can use your extruder. And there we go. I have the lines on my kitty. Your next thing is to make the eyes, and for the eyes, your best bet, you can use the wasabi, you can use the green, you can even use the yellow, whatever is your fancy. But again, in order to be able to do the eyes symmetrical, and we're gonna do the eyes for both color cats, and don't make the string too thin, but this is how you'll be able to cut the exact same amount. So you can do it this way, or so you just make beads and then you flatten them like this. Or the other thing that you can do is to get your clay on a very thin setting. Oh, come on. And then use one of these itty doodlers. The problem you might have with this is that they might get stuck in the doodler. See, like this, and then you have to use a... I personally prefer to do them as little flattened beads. I find it much better. See, you can do them like this. It's entirely up to you how you want to make them. So let me know if you want me to zoom on what I'm doing, because these are fairly tiny. So I'm not sure if you can see them. I know that some of you are watching this on your phone, so might be way too tiny to... And I'm going to say this, I know I didn't say it in a long time, and hi Sharon, and I got some messages about it. Yes, I'm mostly using my middle finger to do stuff, not the forefinger. That is entirely correct, but the reason for that is that I told you guys before, I have cervical spine issues, and because of that, the tip of my forefinger is numb. So I don't really feel what I'm doing. That's why I have to use my middle finger. I am not trying to flip you the bird, okay? That is the actual reason why I'm using my middle finger. Not trying to be rude or anything. Okay, so you do a very, very thin little string, and then all you got to do is to cut pretty much equal pieces. Okay, and then gently roll them so that you'll have both ends kind of sharpened out. You don't really have to do this, but it makes things look better. And the way you cut them depends on the size of your little eyes. And then you simply place your because these are the kitty pupils. These are going to go on the black one, so it doesn't really matter what's the size. Now, if you want to give it an extra oomph, and I know I showed you this before, I cannot remember on what, or if I did it just on a sponsor live. Have a great day, Gayleen. I'm not entirely sure, but if you want to put some extra oomph, I'll show you. All you have to do is to resin a bit. Just the eyes, nothing else. Okay, so let's just flatten the kitty faces a little. Okay, and then you place the eyes on the kitties. And to put them in place properly, I'm going to gently push them in. And what I was talking about giving an extra oomph is you just put a blob of resin on top of just of the eye, nothing else, just the eye. And this whole thing is going to flatten your another thing. If you have problems with, like you see happened here, the other thing that you can do very easily, do the eyes just with the green or yellow or wasabi blobs, and then use a marker to do the lines, because marker is going to be just fine. Markers are alcohol ink based, and there's quite a bit of videos out there who show you how to make your, if you don't have money for alcohol inks, how to make your own using cheapo markers. Bonsoir, Marie. So now obviously for the black ones, you don't have to bother with nose or anything, but for the lighter color ones, just grab a little bit of pink. That's all you need, just a little bit of pink. Flatten it up, and then make a bead, flatten it up, and then this is too big. Make a small bead. About, your bead should be about the size of the eyes, not bigger. I mean, your flattened bead shouldn't be bigger than the size of the eyes. Okay, you flatten it and then cut it in a cross. Very simple. Cut it in a cross, and then all you need is one of these quarters. It's going to make a perfect kitty nose. And the other thing that you can do to it, if you want to make it more kitty-like, simply go about half the distance between the tip and the edge, and just pull with the, and then you give it nostrils as well. Then I'm gonna do the exact same thing for the yeah, as I said, it is brand dependent. Not all of them shrink the same. For the ears, and again, if you want to do, your best bet would be to do this a little bit smaller. So I'm going to choose the next one down. Okay. And we are going to use the same principle as for the nose. We're gonna use the same principle for the ears. So again, make the bead, flatten it. You don't want it to be super flattened, because if it gets too thin, it might break whenever you put your earrings on. And then go like this with your fingers so you don't leave fingerprints. And again, for the people who don't know, who are newer, and because a lot of people keep wondering why I don't leave fingerprints on my clay, is because I use one of those diamond files and I kind of file the tip of my fingers, not enough to get completely my fingerprints off, because just in case I need to be fingerprinted or something, but enough to get the rougher parts. So if I leave fingerprints, they will be barely, hardly noticeable. So again, let's give it a cut in 4, and I'm going to use my blade for this. And we got our ears. Now you can place them. There's 2 ways of placing them. Your best bet also is to gently fold a little bit. You can help yourself with a toothpick. And you can place them with the tip of the quarter thing, but because there's some, and then you kind of bring down the whatever you folded to make them a little bit thinner, and then you simply place them on the kitty. The tip is here. So there you got one kitty. If you don't think it's pointy enough, you can point it some more. Or in case you want to make something that's more Scottish fold like, and this also works with for dogs, if you want to do dogs. So what you do, you simply place, see how I'm not using anymore this tip, I'm kind of putting it flat with the round part in the middle. So press it down to come properly, and then fold the ear for a Scottish fold. And of course, if you want a rabbit, maybe for Easter next year we're gonna do a rabbit. And you're gonna do the exact same thing for the white kitty. I'm not going to even bother cutting. So again, flatten, 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 wipe a little bit, cut in 4. Oops. Thank you so much. Okay, so the same thing. If you want to make it a little bit narrower, use the toothpick. See, grab the ends, place the toothpick here and bring it up, and then just flatten it like this. And then place it on the kitty. And you got another kitty. So these are very simple. They are not super. Remember that generally speaking, my Sunday lives are more on the beginner side. Okay, sometimes I might show other things, but they are mostly on the beginner side. Now if you want to do one of those, and if you don't have any kind of cat mold, I'm gonna go and grab the cat mold to show you how to do with the cat mold here in a minute. But again, you get a little bead and make sure that for both earrings you have the same bead. So we are talking about the top part, the part that's here, and you cut it in half like this, and then you cut it again in half. Oops. Oh, with the cut part down. Let me actually get my blade. And then the thing is that, see, once we have this, it's almost kind of like a kitty paw from the front. So gently press it. You would have, at this point, you'd have to put your I'm gonna use the acrylic block, but you should put it already on the baking tile or whatever you're using for baking. So just to show you how you do the pose, hold on to the kitty and press one of these on one side and then another one on the other side. So see how it is? It's like a quarter of the, and press it against the kitty head so it would be nicely tuck against it, and then grab a needle and give it a couple so you would get the kitty toes. And this way the kitty looks like it's coming out of your earring hole. And you do the same for the white one, obviously. So whatever other color you decide to do. I'm going to show the back as I ordered some, but I'm going how to do the back probably next time. Now give me just a second to grab the mold. I don't think I have it here. Let me check for just to be on the safe side. And if you are wondering, I keep my molds mostly in tackle boxes. I found some tackle boxes at Goodwill, and I went, huh. So oh, they are here. So after that, I didn't find any more at Goodwill, but I went to the one of the Dollar General, Family Dollar, something like that. And I know I had more. There we go. Just to show you how to do. But yeah, tackle boxes are pretty much the best thing for molds, because you know how they have all kinds of drawers and all kinds of stuff. Like this one, see, it's got one thing, then a tray that comes off, and then another. Kind of hard to work on, open it when it's not sitting on something. And then another compartment on the top. So it was a cheap solution for me to keep my molds. And then I have some in you know, those plastic stacks of drawers. So let me get this. And you can do this with white or with black. Let's use this one for the black cat. When using polymer clay in this kind of molds, make sure that your polymer clay is very soft, because as you can see, there's a lot of details. And the thing is that, the thing is that if the clay is not soft enough, if it's a little bit too hard, when you press to get all the details, you're going to actually squish the mold itself, and it's going to get some deformation. So let me just make sure that I got this one soft enough. Let me get the pasta machine a couple times. And when you want to make sure that if it is soft enough, go on a thin setting. Get it through the machine a few times on a thin setting. And that is the same thing if you need to put That's okay, Elaine. It's if you need to add some clay softener on stuff. So let's see, and I'm actually going to maybe even make it a little pointy just for the face. So careful with your fingers, because you saw what happens if you use just your fingers. It's going to come off. See, I wanted to show you that because I was asked, oh my god, I don't find any of those big cosmetic sponges. Well, you can use paper towels or wax paper, or even regular paper. Let's see, didn't get all the way in here, so let me give it a little extra. Oops. Alright, so this should be good, because you don't really care if in the back of the mold you're gonna get the little prints from the paper towel. So let's grab the kitty, and I'm going to zoom in on this one, maybe even make it a little bit brighter, because it's all black. And alrighty, so we got the little kitty head. Let me not waste mine. And very gently come and simply, simply cut. See how I already have, I mean, you can cut from right under the head if you want just simply the head, or you can cut pretty much on the cat's neck here, and make sure you do a nice trimmed thing. And as I said, so to make a nice trim thing here, you just go and then do the whole fur. Or, as I said, you can cut it right under the head. And I'm going to go with 2 cuts. I didn't use enough clay in one of the ears. And again, right at this point, just go with the little needle tool and give it the whole furry look. Now, what I do advise you is before baking to kind of punch, and I would do that before I take it out of the mold, punch the little tray of the post earring before you get it out of the mold, so you'd already have a little indentation here on which to glue, right? So the next thing, let me see, just a second. Okay, one thing that I'm going to do is, oh my god, this little brown string keeps sticking to my fingers. So the next thing I'm going to do, because you want this to look not like a scared Lemurian from Madagascar, okay, you want to go and actually push the eyes in a little bit, like this. See how I made the bulging little eye practically into a hole, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one. And then I'm going to put 2 tiny bits of the wasabi clay in there. Yeah, I know, cutting the head off a molded cat it's kind of Halloweeny, isn't it? Okay, so, no, come on, get off. And you will still have a little bit of sunken type of thing. And honestly, you can, and I'm going to do this with the polymer clay just because the next part should be done when the clay is, you use the fine markers on baked clay, not on raw clay. So let's give it a little bit of a pupil. Hey, I need to put some armor all on my fingers. Just keep sticking to my fingers. So we got the cat's eyes in place. As I said, I didn't put enough clay on the... And if you want, you can go more into... And again, if you want to make them colored, watch that tutorial that I posted a couple years ago that I gave you the link on how to kind of paint these. But what I wanted to say is that, and you can do this before baking or after baking, it's entirely up to you. But just to give it some extra depth. Oops, that's way too much. Just to give it extra depth, you can use a little bit of resin just on top of, and you can do the same for the earrings. To give them enough depth for the eyes. And I'm going to cure the resin so you can see better how that looks like. And let's put some resin on these eyes as well, because it's going to make the eyes look much better if you resin them. Just don't forget, only the eyes. Alrighty, in just a second. Alright, it let me unzoom and harden it, darken it up again. Oh, absolutely, yes, you can. Just don't forget that after you bake it, make sure you put the heat gun on it to get the perfect translucency, because remember, the translucent clay, generally speaking, when you bake it and everything, is not going to be perfectly translucent. But if you remember, one of my very first and I think I can do that on my channel only. Let's go back to the display. If you go on my channel and you go to videos and then sort them by date added oldest, I did here a tutorial on how to make iris canes. If you have the patience to reduce a cane super tiny, this is how I used to do my OOAK one of a kind art dolls. I used to make these little canes for irises. Let me see. So here I show you how to do a regular eye iris. Remember, my very first videos were not that terrific in quality because I did not have a good good equipment and editing software. I'm trying to get to the very end. So this would pretty much, this is when I was still taping with my web camera hanging from the top of the tripod. This, and I'm not sure if it's here. No, it's not here that I'm showing. It's on the dragon eye, and I did this dragon eye pendant. I showed in the very beginning some of the old dragon eyes I used to make, because I used to make at one point when it first started the whole thing. I was making a lot of dragon eyes and a lot of people were trying to copy me. But first is the eye, and then I show how to cover it with liquid clay. One of them is going to be covered with liquid clay, and the other one I'm using one of those beads. And I'm showing exactly, and this is Fimo liquid, exactly how to use a liquid clay to obtain. So this is with Fimo, a dragon eye made with Fimo. But after I baked it, I am using the heat gun on it. So that is very important, because if you don't use the heat gun right on it, it's not going to get translucent enough. Okay, so this is done. So see how the kitty's eyes all nice and shiny, so it makes it way better. Now if you do them for Halloween, I would suggest more like yellow or orange for the kitty eyes. And I promise you, this afternoon I'm going to look on Amazon for cat molds. I know, right? I'm preparing some more dragon stuff, but as I said, I've gotten again a little bit of a setback with my thyroid medication. And before you ask, yes, one of my fingernails is a different color than the other ones because I started putting these colors and I was like, oh no, I wanted the other one, so I continued. And then I was like, I'm not gonna go back, I'm gonna be just starting a new fashion trend. Okay, so yeah, and you can see even for the other ones, the simple ones, it still makes them look more lifelike. Okay, so and this is one of them. Now next time, because what I wanted to show you is, give me just a minute. Ay. Because I'm trying to show you the idea of these cats coming out of your ear. So here's an example. On this one, the tail is actually dangling. Not all of them have dangling, I mean tails with jump rings, but as you can see, the front of the cat and the back of the cat, the front comes in the front of the lobe and the back comes, and you can do these with dragons and with all kinds of other things, and we'll make more things. But what I showed you is a very simple way, and remember that generally speaking, when I do a live, things don't come up that pretty, but for next time I'll have them already done. I'm going to try and see if I can find cat molds that are even smaller, because see, like here you have some really neat cat molds, very tiny, but the ones that I was talking about is this shape of cat, and we will do that this next time. And then there's the other cats. Maybe they are hanging, not stretching. Hold on, let me replace this. Because they practically, and those can be done with the regular ear wires, they are practically kind of like hanging by their, see, like this one. You saw the kitty is hanging on the lobe. Another thing that I think I'm going to do next time is to make the whole thing a little bit bigger, even if you'll have to make it smaller. But as you can see, they can be very, very simple, and you can make them more whimsical and cross-eyed, and I mean, the sky is the limit how you want to make them. I just wanted to give you all the tips on this. I'm not finding this one is also cute with the cat hanging on its tail, but next time I'm going to show you how to build around the post the back of the cat that's coming out of your the back of your lobe, and if you want, send me on Facebook other images that you want me to give you tips on how to make them easy. But I don't find any more, and they were in such a huge vogue, like in 2017, maybe even 2018, with the kitties kind of hanging by their front paws. See, that's another kind, but we'll do some more next Sunday, because you can do everything. Yeah, I wish I could still sculpt art dolls. I've been trying a few times, but I'm still getting the twitches in my hands, and I mess up everything I'm doing. But I promise you, this afternoon I'm going to do a search after I rest my back a little bit after this live. I'm going to do a big search on Amazon to add more cat molds, so that we can work, and I'm going to show you on both ways how to, even for fancier cats and for simpler cats, how to do the back. Okay. And then we're gonna do the stretching kitties. And don't forget, you can always message me on Facebook or in comments on what you'd like to see for Halloween. I'm planning at least one tutorial for the whole fall thing, but I would like to kind of finish the whole Halloween thing by mid-October. So yeah, that's another good one. To be very honest with you, I've been looking high and low for a mold maker that I could collaborate with, so I could actually make the mold templates that they could make the molds out of, because there are so many things. Trish tried to do it, because that she bought the oh god, what's the name of those molds? I'm just having a CRS syndrome. Let me look. Today I've been kind of scatterbrained for some reason. I think it might have to do with my thyroid medication. Best flexible molds. Yeah, Trish purchased the best flexible molds from Penny Joe. And she said she had no problems using the mattresses that she purchased, but she cannot figure out how to make new ones, because I had already made for her a whole series of cabochons and stuff, but she said she cannot figure out how to actually make the mattresses to make the molds. So 3D printer, what? Yeah, an articulated skeleton would be too much work, honestly, and too tiny, and I wouldn't go for that. I mean, it's too much trouble. For what? Just a night. Ain't gonna go for that. But anyway, I was actually thinking to look into my because I have a big stash, and I showed it to you before. I have a big stash of acrylic paints, the cheapo, little bit over $1 ones that you can find at Walmart and everywhere. And I was actually thinking, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it on Facebook or here, but I was thinking of posting a little tutorial on how to use acrylic paints to do zombie, not necessarily full face makeup, but just a few, because the last time I actually was in my workplace. I was still working for the Air Force, and they allowed us to, of course, I was a civilian. I was working in the services. I was the one responsible for the whole trophy shop of the base, Air Force Base here at Tinker. And they allowed us and encouraged us for Halloween to come to work in costume. And I actually came in as a zombie with painted, decaying flesh and cut off throat. And I was thinking to actually show, because you only need a total of about 4 colors, not more than that, and a thin paintbrush. And it's not that hard to make. Unfortunately, we have a high excuse me, we have a very high allergy thing here in Oklahoma, but it's pretty neat. And then after I came home, I answered the door for the trick-or-treaters like that, and everybody was like, ugh! And I scared all the guys. I went in the auto shop and I scared all the guys. Anyway, so I will see you next time. I promise I'm gonna put the cat molds on the influencer store, and we'll do next time the back part of the earrings, and I'll try going a little bit through how to make the hissing cat thing, because you can use the same kind of head, or you can use this with a body for a pendant. And I'll show you again how to modify if you have a whole body, how to modify it a little bit for Halloween things. But yeah, if you know any mold maker, you can tell them to contact me and we can arrange a contract. Yes, because of course I'm gonna want royalties for the molds, but I am sure that, because sometimes I'm getting so frustrated with the molds that are on the market right now. Not only that, they are expensive, but they are also fairly crap in design. I'm sorry. Okay, I will see you all next Sunday. Don't forget to like. Don't forget, if you just found my channel, don't forget to subscribe. And please don't forget to use my Amazon influencer store, or if you purchase from PolyClay Play, to use my affiliate, because that helps me, paying for the website, getting my materials and all that. Thank you so much, and I will see you next Sunday. Have a wonderful what's left of the Sunday. Bye.